Hello there everybody, how's it going? I hope you're all doing very well indeed. This is myself, Matty Tomato, and welcome to round 2 of our TOCA Touring Car Championship Vintage PS1 gameplay here. Round 2 is of course the second event at Donington, so we do 2 rounds at each circuit. Round 1 was good, it started off a bit sloppy, but we had a good qualifying lap. The final qualifying lap was really good. We've qualified in 4th. Lost a bit of ground in the first corner, but after the first lap we were leading and we didn't lose it at all. We had a couple of screw-ups, but in the end we finished quite far ahead of the competition, which was great. But that's only really because I know this circuit really, really well. And subsequent circuits, I mean, I can remember most of the names, but I cannot remember a lot about them or the turns or anything like that, so they're gonna take a lot more sussing out. They're going to be a lot more problematic, and of course the weather's good in this one as well, and there's going to be other circuits where the weather's going to be crap and our car's going to be really slidey and it's going to be really difficult. But let's see how we go. So let's go ahead and prepare and start our qualification for round 2. So I'm going to have another go at this. Of course I could just skip and start at the back of the grid, which is sometimes real fun to try and win a race from the back of the grid, but I'm not going to do that because there is like there's an incentive for pole, because in touring car racing at the time, I don't know if it's still a rule, but if you qualified on pole, you got a point. You got a championship point if you qualified on pole. So there is definitely an incentive to go for pole. I mean, why would you not want to try and go for pole anyway? You want to be at the front of the grid, because you avoid all the carnage at the back. As I said, we had a slow start off the grid in the first race, and I was quite lucky not to get a warning, I think, because I ploughed into the back of one of the Renaults on the first corner. Now, of course, in touring cars, there's a lot of argy-bargy, but that was a blatant drive into the rear end. That was a proper rear end, and I'm quite surprised I didn't get a warning for it, but I got away with it, and it meant that I came out of the first corner in second place, despite losing a spot off the mark. And then we had a bit of a jostle with Jason Plato, and then basically we did a turn. We overtook him on the outside halfway around the lap. That was terrible. Overtook him on the outside halfway around the lap and didn't lose the lead after that. We stayed in front, and in the end we had a massive advantage, despite the fact I span off so many times, which was terrible. Right. So normally the first lap isn't usually as good because you start off when the AI, you're controlled by the ether when you cross that start-finish line. You're only doing about 70-75 mile an hour when you cross that line. But obviously in this case, I was able to cross it at 100 miles an hour, so instantly we're going faster. But the downside was because I hit the grass on the last turn there, so I couldn't get a proper run-up. So this lap's probably not going to be great either. Now we saw the sort of times that we had. Oh, great. Okay, well this lap's down the pan. So I was just going to say that we saw the sort of times. Just adjust my headset. We saw the sort of times that would get us towards pole. So in the last one we got a best lap of 1:32, and that was enough for 4th. And I believe the pole time was 1:30. So we know where we're going to be. Now the current time that we've got here, 1:36, is probably enough for maybe 6th or 7th place. That's that bloody Honda in the same place as it was on the same lap as the previous qualification. Like, is that like scripted or something, that Honda is there on the second lap, no matter how long it takes you to get there? I have no idea. I'm just going to attempt this just because. Yeah, it was terrible, but I mean, because I've caught the lap up anyway, so it didn't matter. As long as I get a good run onto the start-finish straight at the end of this lap, that is what's important. So it doesn't matter now, because I've already messed this lap up, so I could goof around as much as I wanted here, but need to get a good run into the start-finish straight here. I want to be doing at least 100 by the time we cross that start-finish straight line. Yeah, okay, bang on 100. So let's see how we do here. Right, so this is going to be the lap, he says. Probably cock it up. Right, 93 around there. It's not too bad. I have made it around there at 100 before, but nevertheless, good start. Oh, there's that Ford. Yeah, it must be a script. And he's going to cock up my lap, isn't he? Yeah, you asshole. I was doing really good there, and he slowed me right down to 80 mile an hour. I did just completely drive into the back of him, and if I'd have done that in the race, I would have got probably a warning, certainly for that, because I was angry that he was there, and yeah, stuffed this up. So the race is going to be a bit more challenging then, so our first lap of 1:36 is what we're going to have to go on here. So where we started in 4th in the previous race, we've now got a bit of a challenge on our hands to fight through. We're going to be right in the middle of the pack, so this is going to be a more interesting race, I think. So straight away we're, let's have a go. Oh no, see, if you get it wrong, you get it wrong, and it really messes you up. But if you can get that right, you're in for an absolute blinder of a lap if you can do that. So we needed 20 points after this round. Obviously, we won the first race, so that gave us 15. So I think we only need to finish, like, 8th. So we only have to finish, like, in the middle of the pack to proceed to the next round. But I'm not interested in just passing the rounds. I want to be competing at the top. I want to be fighting for the championship here. So, just getting through rounds is not sufficient. Oh my god, what am I doing? Oh boy. Right, let's just get that over with. That was shocking. Absolutely awful. What do we reckon? 8th place, yeah. I did say 7th to 8th. But as it is, 8th place. It was the Audi that actually qualified in first. That's interesting, because the Audi is the only vehicle that's 4-wheel drive in this. Everything else is 2-wheel drive. And because the Audi's 4-wheel drive, it's actually a bit heavier. So on faster circuits, it's not as good. So 6th place is actually what we need. Okay. But the Audi's not as good on faster circuits. It does, however, have a huge advantage on tight, twisty circuits, but also in the rain. Okay, much better start there. Actually able to keep up with everybody. Although I've let it go a little bit, and there's a lot of argy-bargy going on here. Any possible advantage I can gain? Yep, 2 places there. The Honda is right in the way. Didn't get away from that bend as good as he'd hoped, though, which means I'm in a better position. He could have nearly just taken me out there, which would have been a disaster because he would have spun me. I'm going to dive down the inside of the Renault. Ooh, rear-ended the Audi, and I've been spun. That's my fault completely. I rear-ended somebody. I can't remember. I think it was an Audi. I rear-ended somebody, and it meant that I was going too fast on the exit. And so when I got clipped, I spun that Renault. We're going to try and seek some vengeance on the Renault for that one. And now we're in a spot of bother. I've just gone straight around him, though. So we're back up into 8th, which is where we started. The Audi is slow on the straights. Oh my god, he's holding me up big time here, though. He has just gone careering off there, though, which is interesting because I didn't actually do a lot to him. But yeah, he went careering off there, which is very surprising. Now, we've got some ground to make up here. And so, of course, because it's a shorter championship, you've got to be, you haven't got a lot of time to fix your mistakes here. Oh, and just as I say that, I bloody do it again. So I'm losing a lot of time here, and of course I've got to be in 6th place to even pass this round, and I'm currently in 7th. So as it stands, we are not going any further in this championship, and again I've cocked that up. Oh my god, that was awful. Right, we need to string together 1 or 2 absolute blinders of laps here, and that's going to be easier said than done. I made that corner decent, though. There are 2 cars immediately in front of me. So I reckon we've got opportunity here to get back into this. Ooh. Yeah, that was a bit dicey as well. I did send the Volvo off, but the Honda made the bend. But it doesn't matter. I've taken both spots, so I'm happy. And I didn't get a warning for it. But I did charge into the back of that Volvo. So once again, there must be, Ooh, I took a clip there. I had to brake. I didn't want to have to brake there, but I had to because I sort of got clipped a little bit. It was a heavy piece of road, I think. I was sort of deflected off of the racing line, and that is bad. I got away with that. There's loads of cars here, though, so we're right in the mix. I think I can see 1st place, actually. 4th, 3rd, 2nd. Yeah, I can. Here's both the Renaults. Here's the asshole. Get out of here. Go on. Off you go. Suck on that. That's how it feels. Oh man, looks like we're about 4 seconds behind the other Renault, but I think I've taken that turn a hell of a lot better, and we're right back in contention here, which is great stuff. So within about half of the race, I think I've fixed all the errors that I made. The Renault's suddenly braking. If I'd have charged into him there, definite warning. Oh god, I could have spun him as well. He's got the acceleration on me because it's a stronger car, but he's slowed down on the bend. I'm going to take it really wide. And I'm going to get a better exit. There we go. Look at that. Slick. Right, halfway. Halfway through the race here, and I've taken the lead. So let's try and hold on to this now. Oh, much better. Made that at 100 mile an hour. That was a great first turn there. Right, so let's try and build up some time here. Let's get a really good lap in here. Our best lap is 140. And I've just gone and sent it way over. Just as I say those sorts of things, I jinxed myself massively. But our best lap here is 140, and it's funny because our qualifying laps were 136 in the second race and 132 in the first one, so we're way off the mark. But at the moment, it appears to be enough, as there's so much carnage been happening, that 140 has been a half-decent time. Oh! I'm probably going to lose the lead here. That was awful. No? Oh, he's just there. Yeah, there he is. Okay, just spotted him there. So I must have built up a bit more speed. Or more than I thought. Oh, for God's sake. That turn is getting me every single time at the moment. And yet, in the first race, it was perfectly fine. He's right behind me now. Oh, that's what happens. I messed up 2 bends, and that little gap that I built up has just been wiped away. Jesus Christ. Right, yeah, he's right there. Come on. Yeah, so I've got that bend sussed now. The funny thing is, now that I've got some of these bends sussed out, it's going to be the end of the race. I think we do come back to Donington later on in the championship, but I think it's a slightly modified circuit. It's slightly different than this one. So, yeah, see how we go. But yeah, I think most tracks, I think you visit twice. Some of them you do only visit once, but most of them you visit twice. Certainly the big championship ones like Donington and Silverstone. I think it ends at Silverstone. I think is obviously because it's obviously that is the British Grand Prix circuit. So this lap is looking a little bit better now. Making use of the rumble strips is an excellent tactic. Like going around bends like just over the rumble strips is an excellent way to go. Because you're better following the racing line when you do that. This is a much better lap, though, going under there with just under a minute. Yeah, much better lap. We're still only on track for something like 134. I did just take a risk there, and it's not paid off. Just because I have no confidence on that bend anymore. Need to find more confidence on that bend. I think the only way to get confidence on it is to actually get it right. Actually get the bend right and not mess it up. And I think once I go through it, I mean, I've only got 2 more laps to go anyway, but if I go through it without messing it up, I think I'm probably going to be okay. Otherwise, that was a fairly decent lap. We're going to get a 133 in there, which is much better. More like what we were seeing earlier. Ooh, all of the screeching there. I didn't brake. I think I did a little brake just before the bend, but I didn't brake any time around the bend. Oh, that was nearly a cock up as well. I did just brake there just because I nearly messed it up. But ideally, I don't like using the brake because it does slow you down. It's a massive time loss if you use the brakes. Going into a bend without braking is a lot better. Like there, that was a lot better. Hit it at 100 mile an hour. I did have to just drop down a gear there. Now, it is automatic. You can do manual gears, but you can actually You can actually go with manual gears if you choose to, which is a hell of a lot harder. Yes, I messed it up again. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think I'm just taking it far too quick. I think that's what's happening. I'm going down that straight. I'm absolutely bombing it down that straight, and I'm just taking it far too quickly. There's actually a big-ass dent in the side of the car on the right-hand side, on the driver's side there. Which is probably from one of those collisions that we had earlier. Other than that, we're fairly unscathed. Ooh, that was bad. Right. Anyway, we're about to lap somebody as we go into the final lap here. So we're probably not going to get anything faster than 133 just because there's a lot of traffic ahead. It's another one of these big scuffles, and yes, I knew it was going to happen at some point. I didn't realise that he'd slowed down that much into the turn, and I went straight into the back of him. It was going to happen. I was on thin ice for a long time. This is a real pain in the ass. These guys, the two Fords, the two Peugeots, and what I think is a Nissan, are constantly scuffling at the back here. It's probably some really exciting racing. Like, they keep changing places all the time. But for me, who's coming around to lap them, it's a pain in the ass. The Peugeot is coming back at me there. Flaming hell. Get out of here. The latest of honks. Oh, man. Didn't even expect him to come back at me there. I wasn't even slowing down. He just gained some speed. And I suppose in the slipstream, he just gained a hell of a load of speed. Oh. The Nissan's actually got a better exit there, but I think I've got a bit more power. So, but yeah, that was quite funny. Yeah, it is the other Vauxhall. I think this is the other Vauxhall. This guy here. And I think mine's red and his is white. And I don't know why. Oh, wow. I don't even know what I was actually doing there, to be honest. I was being a little bit of a knob. Let's say that. Right, anyway, let's hit all these cones. The Nissan having a dig at the end. Oh, man. In the end, the advantage was only 26 seconds that time, because I made a lot of mistakes, but also we had to grind our way from further back, so... yeah, but anyway, yeah, it is the Vauxhall. The other Vauxhall is white. That's very interesting to know. That's why I was confused as to what it was, but fair enough. But that's it for now then. Thanks for watching. This has been Mr. Automatic Tomato. Hope you've enjoyed round 2. We'll go on to rounds 3 and 4 next time, but that's it for now. And be sure to subscribe to follow the series. Cheers for watching.